Hi, I'm Leanne Ely. I'm a nutritionist, a New York Times best-selling author, and some people even say I'm a life coach. I started the Daily Dish Show to share my story, my truth, and my journey to vibrancy, and to inspire others to do the same. Because it's all about grit, perseverance, and finding a way despite the odds. It's about embracing the whole woman, not just the parts that are easy to love, and feeding her heart, mind, body, and soul. But I found that this isn't just my story, it's your story too. It's go time. This is the Daily Dish. Hello, it's Tuesday. Happy Tuesday to all of y'all. Glad to have you here. Catherine, I'm glad to see you. Patsy, Alice, Doris, Sue's in the house. Guess what? Today is the day for those of you who are a part of the Rising Tide. Boop. Hey, Linda. The Rising Tide. Jocelyn, I see you too. The Rising Tide is a 3-week intensive. We start tonight, 2 hours, right? We just get right into the weeds. And we are creating 12-week goals so that we can knock it out of the park. That's it. We want to end this year absolutely riding on the coattails of massive success. We do that when we're very intentional about it. We do it when we have the rising tide of our community helping us. That's what this is about. This goal planner, we had a goal planners going out today. Now, if you're saying, oh man, I didn't realize it was coming up so soon, I want to join this, you can still join today. Today is the last day to join. We will send you a PDF of what it is that you need for week 1. Then this will go in the mail for you today, so that you will have it. And I'm just mentioning all of this because I know what it feels like to have FOMO, fear of missing out. I know what it feels like when you think, this is really for me. And what I would invite you to do is go to savingdinner.com/tide to go check it out. And this is your last shot. If you're in, get in. Let's do this. Remember, you're going to get a one-on-one with me. There are hot seats. There's all kinds of stuff. And the flavor of the community is wonderful. The support is incredible, and the women there all support one another. Absolutely essential, right? Go take a peek, see. Don't miss out on this. This is the last one for this year. The other thing that you need to know is that we have Biomega 3X. That is our supplement of the week. You buy one, you're going to get one. That's what we have for you this week. We're not messing around. We want to see you take care of yourself. Do you hear me? Taking care of yourself is essential for getting on that path of vibrancy. We all desire vibrancy. Not a soul on this planet says, yeah, no, I don't want it. Anyway, this is important. Fish oil, omega-3 fatty acids. This is the thing. Now, ours is, I'm going to just tell you one thing about it. Our omega-3 fatty acids is really incredible. I'm going to tell you why. It's made from a dried fish oil, not the ooey gooey kind, because most of those things are rancid, unfortunately. So check it out. Buy one, get one free. It's fish oil. We all have a deficit in it. We all need it. Okay. This is what makes your brain think better. It's what makes hormones work. It is helpful for weight loss. It is everything that you need. We all need this. savingdinner.com/show. There you go. That's where you're going to find it. And not only will you buy one and get one absolutely free, you're also going to get this. This is a journal on self-care. And in it, there's like little exercises you can do. What is your best inner quality? What makes you special? Does that sound scary? What compliment do you love to get? That's a couple of questions. What are 7 things that bring you a sense of peace? Beautiful questions to ask yourself. Lists in here too of some self-care ideas and scheduling them, and just a thoughtful journal that we're going to give you absolutely free when you buy one, get one. savingdinner.com/show. Lidez. Hello, beautiful. I don't know who Lidez is. Is that Liz? I'm going to think it's Liz. Hi. Haven't seen you in a while. Autumn, Deborah, Kathy, Jackie. Glad you're here. Today, our theme of the week is transformation and turning ashes into beauty, the transformation of ashes to beauty. If you know that Bible verse, you know what I'm talking about. Leisha, my goodness, Leisha, it's been a minute and a half. Good grief. Glad to have you here. You had a problem with weirdos on Facebook for a while, so you have to change it. I understand that. Well, we're not weirdos here. Anyway, so glad you're here, and I'm so glad that all the rest of you are here too. Another thing that you need to know about, just a few things, is our Etsy store is open. You can find that at savingdinner.com/show or Etsy. You can also remember that when you decide to purchase your supplements from us, we're going to give you free shipping if you spend $300. That's just a thank you. So go shopping. You can go shopping if you want to. Have you seen our quote of the week? It's a doozy, baby. It's a good one. Sometimes the smallest step in the right direction ends up being the biggest step of your life. That's a huge statement, isn't it? But it's a truth too. It is a big time truth. So today, using that and by the way, when we give you the quotes of the week, write them down, put them in your journal, noodle on them a little bit. Think about them. What does this mean for me? How do I apply this into my life? Just a thought, little to-do action for you. All right. So let's get into our content today, because today we're talking about the concept of deriving beauty from ashes, right? That's in Isaiah, by the way. I talked about that a little bit yesterday and how this whole transformation thing works. But what we're looking at is having nothing. I mean, what are ashes except residual of something that was before, that is no longer, right? Ashes. We're taking ashes and transforming them into something beautiful. I shared a few stories with you yesterday, lots of interesting things that we can talk about with this. However, when we're talking about this for us, for women who are here, and especially as we are winding it all down with, this is the end of the Hot Melt 30. And the Hot Melt 30 is a transformational journey, isn't it? Big time. Because we start with what's in our ears and we transform, some of us want to transform our body. Some of us want to transform the way we live our lives. Some of us want to transform how we spend our time, how we think. Some want the whole package, right? And that's why I always say that we have to look at ourselves as a whole woman. It's heart, mind, body, and soul. It's never divorcing ourselves from any part of ourselves. We can't do that. And if we address the whole woman, then we're going to be able to love her up and take care of her and get her to the place where we want to go. Love her up the way she is right now, not to where she's going either, by the way. That's how I see things. Makes a big, big difference. And it makes a big difference in how you show up for yourself and how you show up for others. We are mesmerized, aren't we, by these before and after pictures because of the dramatic transformation that we see. I always look at them. I always think, wow, look at what they did. But I want to talk about that because, it's a shift in thinking that gets that person to the place of saying, here I am, but here's where I want to go. And then actually doing it. There's a whole shift in thinking. And these transformative journeys that we look at and that we see and that we're going, this is the before and this is the after. Well, what is that? It's a symbol. It symbolizes hope. It symbolizes courage, the power of decision, and it symbolizes absolute strength and persistence and consistency. Because those are all the qualities that it takes in order for that to happen. So, but if you really back it out and you start looking at it and you start thinking about it, the power of transformation is a single potent decision. I'm going to do this. I am all about doing X, Y, and Z, whatever it is. So the thing though that we have to look at, and this is can be the stumbling place, is you're thinking, yeah, that's what I want. But how do you get to the place where that pivotal moment is the pivotal moment, where that decision becomes the decision, not just another wobbly, oh yeah, maybe I'm in, maybe I'm not, and then not. Maybe showing up for 4 days and then piecing out later. How do we do that? I want to talk about that because I think that's the thing. We have wobble factor. We have to in everything that we do because we're new babies learning how to walk on some of this stuff. But there has to be a place where that burning desire, that hot desire that we call it, that's deep down inside is the thing that wins out, is the thing that pushes, is the thing that says, yes, ma'am, you can do this. It's not just about the fact that we know that we're fearfully and wonderfully made. We talked about that a lot yesterday, and that how that creation inside of us is there on purpose and for purpose. And the reason why is because God doesn't make junk. There is a reason why. But beyond all of those reasons why is also this insane amount of stuff inside that we need to be able to draw on so that we can actually get on that path of transformation, And I look at it from this point of view, by the way, is that we should all be on the path of transformation first in some way or another. And it doesn't have to just be one thing. It can be several things, and it can be all about this desire to become the best version of yourself at all times. And that doesn't mean that you're dissatisfied with your life. It just means that you are willing to serve more. You're willing to love more. You're willing to be more. Because when you do that, then you are affecting others all around you, in your community, in your home, under your roof, the people, the friends, the business that you do, all of it. Because we become agents of our own change. It's a decision though, and it's a very potent and important decision. So how do we arrive? The first thing that we have to do is understand what our ashes look like. Because everybody comes to the table with something different. Everybody has in the palm of their hand something that they really want to transform, something that's just not working for them, something that's robbing them of what it is that they want overall in this life. We get locked in and lost in sometimes the details of the size of our genes. We talk about that. But what it is the transformation of the inside that transforms the outside. Because without that, we get locked into that negative loop again. It's always becoming the same thing. So initially, what we have to do for getting a transformation even started is acknowledging it. Acknowledging it. We have to confront this present reality of these ashes. We have to look at the struggles, the unhappiness, the unfulfilled potential, and all the stuff that's been taken away from us because we're not living in the fullness of what our potential and our becoming can be. The ashes have become the thing. Instead of the ashes being tossed or buried or set aside or swept aside, they become what our life is. And it's holding us back. Because what good are ashes? What purpose do the ashes serve? So I ask myself this question. When I find myself in a place of frustration and saying, if only I could blah, 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 blah. I look at myself and I say, is my experience in this life awesome? Is it? If it's not, what's holding me back from that full experience? What am I missing out on? Why am I missing out on this? What can I do differently to make it so that I'm not missing out, so I don't have this FOMO? And here's the kicker. How am I holding myself back? Because at the moment of self-reflection and taking responsibility for yourself, is the moment that we can stop with the excuses, stop with allowing the obstacles and the things that get in our way to stop us. Because oftentimes we don't go deep enough to really figure out what the heck is going on here. You know, we talk about the time block sheets. We talk about take back your body journals, take back your life journals. We talk about even our goal setting stuff, the rising tide starting tonight. We talk about all of that stuff. But until we are in the place of acknowledging what is standing in the way, we are not in the place of being able to go after what it is that we want, because it's not going to suddenly set itself aside. We have to figure out, what am I going to do to get beyond all of these things? It's just a necessary thing. So our honest answers to this, am I enjoying this ride? Oftentimes it can be enlightening. And this is how we ignite that desire for transformation. So we have to start with the practical step of then self-reflection. And, there's areas of discontent in everybody's life. I don't care who you are. Everyone has one or two, or maybe even several, because nobody has ever gone through this life in a way where every single day is, just like joy and confetti. It's not like that. So we have to look at this and figure out what, in those self-reflective moments, not to just take a moment, but to take more than a moment, beyond a minute even, and really get into the weeds with it and sit with it. Meditate about it and say, what's up here? Write about it in your journal, saying, this is all the stuff that's going wrong. This is all the crap that I'm dealing with right now. I don't need this. What I want is this. I want to take these ashes and exchange them for this beauty. This is the transformation I want. So when we do this, when we use a meditation and our journaling things, two things, cheap, free. When we do this, we're starting the exploration. When we begin the exploration, we unearth stuff. We unroot things, and we really get into it. We show ourselves that, there's something there. But I'm going to tell you what, most of us skip this step. We see it for a minute and then we go back to our old stuff. We glance at it. We spend a lot of energy on it too, don't we? Explaining ourselves and going through it all, trying to people please, all the stuff that gets in the way of us being true to our values, true to ourselves. A lot of times, there's so many of us out there, we lay ourselves down for everyone else. We're last on the list. And nobody benefits from that, by the way, because at the end of the day, and the end of the week, the end of your life, if you've played the sacrificial lamb, you've got nothing left to give. You cannot drink from an empty cup. So when we skip this step, and some of the reason too is that we skip the step of noticing and figuring all this stuff out. One of the reasons that we skip this step is because we're so harsh with ourselves. We belittle ourselves. We put ourselves down. Why can't you? What's wrong with you? You're so dumb, etc. And when we do this, and we're so that harsh with our tender souls, it's ugly. It's hard. It's brutal. And we're the worst critics of ourselves. We need the honesty of what's going on without the brutality of putting ourselves down. There's the rub. So my question to you is, what if we looked at our little tender souls and held them with a gentle hand and said that we loved ourselves enough that we're going to look at what is it going to take for us to get to this place of transformation? What is it going to take to get to this place of having transformation hold? So my thought is, instead of the punishment that we put ourselves through, let's create instead nurture. Instead of the harsh put downs that are so cold and mean, let's create a place of warmth and of gentle love for ourselves. Nobody does this perfectly, by the way, but we can rise to excellence simply with the flick of a switch, because it's a decision. And it's a good one when we make that decision. I love to do this on paper, and I really strongly suggest that you do it on paper. Get out your journal and do it, and start writing down the stuff that you're just not pleased with. And if it's that, what could it be? How could we transform those ashes into beauty? But we also need to understand that there is a cost. And that cost might be your old ways. That cost might be giving up something for something else. Transformation is an investment in yourself. Remember, we talked about the difference between spending money and investing money. Spending money is going, to Starbucks and buying the frou-frou, $5 coffee drink with all the garbage in it that's not going to help you out anyway, versus, spending money on a supplement or a course or something, a book, something that's going to benefit you in the long run. That's an investment in yourself. I never feel bad about books coming to the house. My husband always says, "Another book?" I said, "You bet." And I'll read it too. And he knows that. I've always have stacks of books all around me, but that's an investment, and it's a worthwhile investment, and you are worth it. It used to bother me when he used to say, "Another book?" And now I just laugh at him and I just say, "Yeah, well, my stack's bigger than yours." It's not a big reader. So we have to understand this, that the impact of inertia on our well-being and our relationships and the satisfaction with which we even live our lives, that's what's going to cultivate the desire for change. So what do? We take a practical step of evaluating the impact. Hey, Lynn, I see you. Nice to have you here. There is the toll of, you have to assess the toll of unchange in your life. Oftentimes we look at the change. Oh, wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't this be great? Wouldn't this be great? But what if we looked at it from a different lens and say, the cost of staying the same, what is that going to look like in 5 years, a year, whatever? What is it going to look like? Is it going to get better? Or is it going to get worse? Am I going to love myself more? Am I going to feel better in my own skin more? Or is it just going to be more of the same and all the way down we go? So when we think about what the lack of transformation and how it impacts our well-being, our relationships, and our long-term goals, then maybe that's the shakeup that we need, because that's not a put down at all. That's not harsh. That's not negative. That's just the reality of what is. Those are facts. And that's the place that we need to deal from, our facts, to understand what is at stake here for not transforming or just holding on to those darn ashes. So another trick that we can use that is available for us that I strongly suggest, especially if you're like me, I'm a visual person. I need to see things. I'm big picture. I need to see what I've got here. Create a vision board. Visualize the beauty. Visualize what it is that you want. Those hot desires on your board are the thing. It gives concrete evidence to your brain. Your brain is going to just say, okay, that. Well, you know what I always do, by the way? This is what I do. And I've shown you my vision board that had the house on the water kind of a thing in it. And it was not, didn't look anything like what we have here. The only thing that was the same was water and a dock. That was it. But other than that, it didn't look exactly the same. It didn't need to. Because for me, you know what it was? It was this idea, this notion. And so what I would say is this or something better. This or something better. And this is, I think God delights in us saying, we tell him what we want. Don't you want your children to tell you what they want? Don't you want your dog? Oh, I want my dog to tell me what he wants, He wants to go for a walk. He wants to do this. He wants to do that. That's cool. Because when I can understand what he wants, then I can respond. Otherwise, we can't. And that's the impact of this, is understanding what you want is going to help you build the picture, going to help you visualize it, going to help you to see it. And I will tell you, the fulfillment of the post-transformation is just something that's beyond the way that you feel, the goal, success in attaining that goal, the well-being, the happiness, the joy. It all comes because you worked hard for it and you darn well got it. And that's part of the whole thing. We want to leapfrog the hard stuff, not understanding really that the transformation journey from ashes to beauty is all about what we're going to learn in between. And by the time we get to that place of attaining that thing, of whatever it is, it's because we have learned how to transform those ashes into that beauty. You know, this is the thing that I've come to the place of, that the thing that I might want next, or whatever it is, or the qualities to attain, whatever it is, I don't have them because I'm not ready for them. I need that transformational journey. You can't leapfrog your way in. You have to walk your way in. You know, we're human beings, and it's one step in front of the other. And sometimes it's like a cha-cha. We do 2 steps forward and 1 step back. And we think, oh my gosh, when am I going to get this? And sometimes it feels like it's going to take forever. So my strong suggestion is that you create that vision board that has the pictures of those things that you want. One of the pictures on my board is I can't think of her name again, but she's a strength trainer. She's been around forever, not Kathy Smith, but in that genre. And she's got her guns fired up, and she's doing one of these. And that to me represents what I'm trying to do and transform my body into a strength machine, because I know the impact. Denise Austin, good one. Jenny, she can read my mind. I had her on the tip of my tongue and now I don't. Yeah, so Denise Austin is a couple of years older than me, but I'll tell you what, that woman, she's in shape. She has a 25-year-old body, it looks like. And it's not so much that I want a youthful body, but it's just the fact that she's strong and she's still out there. You know, I saw a Peter Attia, if you're familiar with him. Peter Attia is a longevity expert, doctor, MD. Peter Attia said, if we do not, we call it what they call in, I guess, medical world, the marginal decade. You know what the marginal decade is? The decade in which it's your last. And he said most people enter their marginal decade decrepit, hunched over, not thinking correctly. Physicality is diminished down to hardly anything. They don't have what it takes anymore because they let it go early. And at this age, I don't know where you are, but I'm in my 60s. There are other people in their 50s. We have to prepare for the marginal decade. And we don't have to be decrepit and losing all of it. You know, you lose your body, you lose your marbles. You know, that muscle is there for a purpose. So we have an opportunity to grow that and to become that. Visualize it. Put it on the board. Make it a part of who and what you want. And then you have to commit to it. We did that for the 30, the Hot Melt 30. We had a commitment signing ceremony, a commitment contract. And I will tell you, our Tanya, who's lost 130 pounds and has completely transformed, there's a transformational story that we all love, right? Her before and then her after. She signs that thing every single day. Don't you think that's had a little bit of an impact on her? Of course it has. She reads it, then she signs it. She doesn't just blindly sign it, she reads it. Those words have become a part of who she is. And that commitment is she's contracted that commitment. She's contracted with herself. And she's kept her word. Because I want you to know something, by the way. She didn't do it perfectly. She did it excellently, to the best of her ability. And the days that she didn't do well, she knew that she could wake up the next morning and do even better. So do this. Have a commitment ritual with yourself every morning. Today I am committed. I promise to follow through on whatever it is that you want. But outline your goals, write out your IMs in a positive, in the presence of what it is that you're going to do. I want to lose weight means nothing. I am committed to following through on my food plan, my exercise, my hydration, and my sleep. Those are the things that are going to make the difference. Those are the needle movers, by the way. And then the last thing is we have to embrace our support and accountability. It's not only necessary, it's science-backed. Those who are in community, those who are communicating, those who are saying, I need help, are the people who get what it is that they need. And they're more than ever likely to stay the course. So there's like some layers of it. You start with, number one, if you just get yourself in a community, you go sign up for the Hot Melt Sprint group on Facebook and you're in community. Next thing you do is you say, I need an accountability partner. Body clutter buddy, anybody? You want to do it? And then you talk about it. And then you set yourself a meeting every week. How'd you do today? How did it go? How you had a business meeting that you were concerned about. How did that go? And the food situation, when we have this kind of thing, we go from the amount of success from just doing it solo and hoping and praying down in, it's about 30% that are going to make it at least get to that place, but maybe not necessarily hold on to it. And then if we take ourselves and put ourselves in community, we're more than likely to make it happen and stay the course. That's about 50, 60%. It gets better though. If we have an accountability partner and we've been making appointments with each other and what have you, your success rate is like 90%. That's because it's in here, It has now become wired into the daily. This is a part of what you do. This is about changing your mind. This is the transformational journey. So one thing I had this, I don't have my journal here, but one thing I wrote in my journal today was, and I'm sorry it's getting a little bit long, but this is important, is that to me, transformation isn't about being courageous. It's about moments of courage, because nobody walks around courageous all the time. Nobody does. That's exhausting. We can't. But it's about moments of courage. It's about saying no to one thing and saying yes to another. It's about understanding and digging in and being that change for yourself. So those moments of courage are the things that are going to grab you by the scruff of the neck if you allow for them. You don't have to be like that all the time. Not everything demands that kind of energy and that kind of, commitment. But there are moments where it's going to. And you can tap into that and say, I need a moment of courage right now. God, can you help me? I need a moment of courage. I need a moment to hold on. I need something else to do instead of XYZ. Because that's when he shows up. And that's when our moments of transformation become true. Because it's rooted in that decision to be courageous moment to moment when needed. It's in that decision to transform those ashes into beauty. So, this is all on you, and it's on your ability to make those changes. And you have that. You have it at your fingertips at any time to just make that decision. And if you look at all of these things that we've talked about today, these are things that will help to push you into that whole thing and help give you that strength, the inner strength, so that you don't waver, so that you don't just say peace out and Irish goodbye and never to be seen from again. So stay with this, This is how we become the women we're supposed to become. Wise, vibrant, and absolutely full of joy for the lives we've been given. I hope that blessed you and helped you. Tomorrow is Wise Women's Wednesday. I'll be here, will you? I sure hope so. If you missed any of the announcements, we've got them at savingdinner.com/announcements. You'll see the supplement of the week. The Rising Tide information is there. And remember, today's the last day for the Rising Tide. Rising Tide is the goal workshop for the next 3 weeks, starting tonight. We'll send you today's lesson so you can get started. I promise. savingdinner.com/tide. That's it. Peace be with you. I will see you on Wednesday. Bye-bye. Thank you for joining me today. You can find me on TikTok for daily tips to help support your most vibrant life. And remember, you are the author of your own story. Until next time.